US President Donald Trump's tariff has shaken global trade's foundation, thrusting nations into a new era of economic volatility. From Europe to Asia and even Africa, nations are reacting to this sweeping trade measure with urgency and recalibration. The tariff has initiated what many call a global trade war in a dramatic shift. Its aggressive tariffs are hitting countries from all corners of the globe, with the European Union (EU) standing out as one of the primary targets. Having declared Europe among the worst offenders, the US administration has escalated its stance by imposing 20% tariff on nearly all EU's imports. Europe, a long-standing ally of the US, is now on the defensive. The tariffs are not just a trade concern but a political challenge. European leaders, particularly from the far-right parties, are caught in a difficult position. While some like Matteo Salvini of Italy see Trump's tariffs as an opportunity, others, including Giorgia Meloni of Italy, have voiced strong opposition.
President Trump's announcement of universal tariffs on the whole world, including the European Union, is a major blow to the world economy. I deeply regret this choice. Let's be clear-eyed about the immense consequences. The global economy will massively suffer. Uncertainty will spiral and trigger the rise of further protectionism. The consequences will be dire for millions of people around the globe, also for the most vulnerable countries, which are now subject to some of the highest US tariffs. The opposite of what we wanted to achieve.
European Commission's President Ursula von der Leyen leads the charge against this tariff. Her strategy includes strengthening EU's unity, retaliating where necessary, and diversifying trade's relation. A united EU with its 450 million consumers and the world's second largest economy is now a formidable counterforce to Trump's protectionist policies. Across the globe, financial markets are feeling the shock. However, the effects of these tariffs are not felt more intensely than in China, the second world's largest economy. China, already battling 20% tariff on its exports to the US, now faces a new set of challenges, with tariffs on Chinese goods rising to as high as 54%. China is focusing on domestic stimulus and expanding its trade relationship with Southeast Asia and beyond. As China deepens its trade relation with Southeast Asia, it is positioning itself as the dominant economic player in the region, sidelining US influence. While the US focuses on high-tech sector and artificial intelligence, China is expanding its reach and establishing new economic alliances. Across the African continent, the effects of Trump's tariff are starting to surface. In Nigeria, one of Africa's largest economies, the tariff have a noticeable impact. While Nigeria's exports to the US have declined, the reciprocal tariff announced by the Trump administration could have severe consequences for the country's economy. Nigeria, which currently imposes a 27% tariff on US goods, will now face a 14% reciprocal tariff on its exports. This marks a significant shift in the trade dynamics between the US and Nigeria, potentially hurting Nigeria's exporters who have relied on preferential terms under the agreement AGOA. For countries like Nigeria, whose economy heavily depends on trade with the US, these tariffs are a wake-up call. The tariffs could stifle the diversification of Nigeria's exports, especially as the country attempts to move away from oil dependency. The repercussion extends beyond Nigeria. Other African countries such as Ghana and Mauritius face steep new tariffs that could further complicate trade with the US. Nations that have relied on favorable terms are now being asked to reevaluate their trade strategies or risk losing access to the world's largest consumer market. While the political fallout from Trump's tariff is still unfolding, one thing is clear: These tariffs are reshaping global economic landscape. Economics like in Europe is rallying for unity. China focuses on internal growth and diversifying trade, and Africa is forced to reconsider its dependence on the US market. The world is now at a crossroad. Will nations close rank, strengthening their alliances, or will they splinter, each focusing on self-preservation? Only time will tell. But one thing is sure, the global trade system will never be the same. As we watch the trade war unfold, the global economy is on the brink of transformation. Stay tuned as I unfold and continue to track the impact of President Donald Trump's tariff and how they reshape the future of the world's trade. Do not forget to follow us on all social media platforms of Fact News Africa and Fact News Hausa.